We are the flow, we are the ebb, we are the weavers, we are the web.
Okay, welcome everyone to this workshop of Weavers of the Womb Web, where Emmy will be hosting and sharing her magic with us. So first off, thank you, Emmy, for joining us and for being here.
Thank you, Sarah, for organizing this. It's beautiful.
Oh, very welcome. Every kind of workshop or masterclass, we kind of start with just dropping into our bodies, connecting with ourselves, and then from there on, we can connect into the space. So I will invite you now to sit in a comfortable position, and you can close your eyes if that feels good. You can lie down or sit straight, feet on the ground or not. Just, I'm going to ask you to keep your spine straight. And we are going to take 3 deep breaths in and down to your belly and out through your mouth. And just enjoying how soft it feels to have your body filled with air, and how good it feels to release. And then one more. And from this space, we will be dropping into our womb space. You might want to put a hand over this area. And just feeling what is a present for you in your womb space right now. Not judging, just sending your loving presence in that space. And sending some joy and care and connectedness into our womb space. And we feel rooted in our bodies. And from our bodies, we feel rooted on this earth. We feel held and connected. And from this space of awareness and connection, we expand that into this web of womb weavers, to our sisters and brothers and kin. And from the space of deep womb connection, I will light the candle that is holding this event. And while I light the candle, you can slowly return and open your eyes if you're ready. Voila. So Emmy is with us, and Emmy, do you want to say a little bit about yourself and about your mission and vision? And tell us who you are.
Absolutely. And thank you for that beautiful grounding meditation. That was very lovely. Thank you. Yeah, so I am an intuitive healer, energy medicine practitioner, and a shamanic womb priestess. And I believe that when women reconnect with that ancient feminine wisdom that we all have deep within our bodies and deep within our womb spaces. And when we heal those wounds that have stopped us from loving ourselves exactly the way we are, and when we have the courage to step into our sacred feminine power, not only do we heal ourselves, but we also heal those who came before us. We heal those who come after us. And we also heal collectively our planet and beyond our planet as well. So my mission rising from that really is to support as many women as possible, and also men, to really reconnect with this wisdom and power of our wombs, the wisdom and power of our ancestors going way back to the beginning, to primordial times, and really to support people to remember how powerful they are, to remember their divinity, and to have the courage to look into those wounds, to look into those shadows, so that we can then rise together collectively and birth what we know as the new earth that is very much coming, that is very much being birthed, but that still needs our support, that still needs our holding space for it as well, and having the kind of trust and courage that it takes to be part of a process that is birthing something very beautiful on our planet and beyond.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I got some shivers there. Yeah, I really resonate. And what I personally experienced deeply with you is how when I was sharing something vulnerable, but I was kind of brushing it off because, I've been taught to keep a cool face, that you so gently allowed so much space to acknowledge also the wound, but not from a space of victimhood, but really from that empowerment space, and so gentle and so all present, held. So that's a really beautiful quality that you have, and that I really admire also in you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah. That means a lot to me.
Yeah. Okay, so then what I also ask everyone in the beginning of the workshop is to answer the question, what it means for you to be like a womb weaver, to stand in the power of your womb, and from that space be connected into the earth, and then from there on out also into the communities, sisterhood, brotherhood, and kin in general. And why it is so important today that many of us take that space and root into that power.
Oh, wow, I could talk about this for hours, but let me see if I can keep it concise. And some of this I will also actually cover as part of the workshop that I'll be running today. But essentially, weaving the world, the womb web around our world, essentially to me means remembering our what's the right word that I'm looking for here? It means remembering how connected we all are. It means remembering that we as humanity are connected in so many ways. And we are all in our own ways contributing to this beautiful tapestry, this beautiful web of life, which is not just about humanity, but it is about all living beings on our planet. And starting to remember that we actually have connections beyond our planet as well, to other dimensions, to other galaxies, to other planets, to other beings and communities that many of us have our origins in as well. And remembering that what I as an individual do in this lifetime on this planet always has an impact on other things on our planet as well. And the words I speak have power. The actions that I take have power. And the more I have the courage to connect with my own wisdom, with my own innate knowing, which comes deep from within our womb spaces and deep within from our hearts, and which ultimately is about love, and which ultimately is about that connectedness of all living beings. The more of us have the courage to really tap into that, and trust that knowing, the more quickly we also bring about that healing on our planet and collectively to humanity and beyond. And standing in that power, especially in these times of transition, we are literally in a birth canal, birthing the new earth that I also mentioned earlier. And the birthing process can be painful. It can be like a real squeeze. And I think we're very concretely seeing that squeeze on our planet at the moment with the, I would say, the collapse of the systems and structures that so many of us have been living within and perhaps never questioned, and perhaps always thought of as the only way to live because that is all we have experienced. And yet at the same time, so many of us are waking up to what is actually happening in our world, and asking questions and not taking for face value those systems and structures that we have lived within, that we've been schooled within, and I would say been programmed within as well, to believe in certain kinds of truths. And when we start to really stand in our womb power and connect with that womb wisdom, we start to realize that there is so much more out there, that there are alternative ways of living, and there are values and principles and virtues that we can absolutely stand by, that many of the institutions actually don't stand by. And when I say institutions, I'm referring to things like governments, things like the banking system, things like the education system, the way we know it, and even agencies and institutions that we have grown to trust or have been taught to trust. Having the courage to kind of start to go beyond or look beyond the veil, and have the courage to open up to different kinds of truths and realities is really, I think, at the foundation of the new earth. And remembering that the most powerful force is love. And the more we had the courage to root into love, no matter what is happening in our world, no matter how much fear and division and polarity there seems to be, the more we can root into love and trust that there is a bigger plan, and trust that the universe or the source or the great mother, however you wish to call this, for me, it is the great mother or the divine feminine, has our backs. And the more we can surrender and trust in that knowing, the easier we can flow through these times of transition. Okay, I started to go pretty deep there, but yeah, just felt important to mention that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And I deeply resonate with what you're saying. And I love that you're bringing that in as well, because that is one of the main reasons why I decided to host this event, because for the longest time, I was trying to fight the old system and being really against it, but I was completely in the old system because that was all I knew. And then once I made that transition and like feeling that power within myself and coming from that love that you speak about, then I started to see like, hey, we can do so much more, and we can connect here, and we can expand instead of only contract. So I love that you've brought that in. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for that introduction and your vision on this. And then now I would invite you to start with your workshop, and I'm going to put you on speaker.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. So I am going to be sharing with you just a few slides that summarize the main points that I want to make and put over to you in terms of the power of our womb spaces and the alchemical power and the alchemical potential that our wombs hold. And I will also take you through a guided womb journey, which is all about realizing that power, really starting to embody that power and learning to work with our womb spaces as these beautiful healing cauldrons, which they are. So let me just start the sharing. And Sarah, please let me know when you can actually see this. Okay, perfect. All right. So womb alchemy. What is this all about? Let me start by going back in time a little bit and talk to you a little bit about the ancient knowing that we all hold within our womb spaces. And I think here it's important to also note that even if you no longer have a physical womb space, if you've had your womb removed, you can absolutely connect to the energy and the vibration of your womb. That will always, always be with you. And if you are a man who is watching this and participating in this, you also have an energetic womb space and you can connect to that energy. We've all been born within and through the collective womb consciousness, and we all carry this energy and this vibration within our DNA and deep within ourselves. And another aspect of your womb power is that you can absolutely use and work with your womb space to amplify the energy and the frequency of love and use your womb to create that kind of life you want for yourself and for humanity and for our planet, and also to manifest different things into your life. So let's go back to the ancient times. You might be aware that the ancient ones, and we are now talking really prehistoric times, the tribes and the communities that lived back then, many of them have origin stories that talk about a great mother or some sort of a symbolic representation of the great mother from which all living beings and all planets and our solar systems were birthed from. So we're talking about a mother universe or primordial black hole, which I also, based on the teachings that I have gone through in my life, refer to as the cosmic womb or the womb of creation. And the ancient ones also had this great, great reverence for women or female beings because they had physical womb spaces within from which life was created. They had a great reverence for the divine feminine or the great mother. So instead of talking about a white bearded old man who created everything and who controls everything, often in a very manipulative or scary way, we are actually talking about a great mother and a real womb cosmology in which it was understood that everything is birthed from the womb, whether it's the womb of a human being, a woman, or from the great cosmic womb. And as I started to mention already, women were truly revered and respected as carriers of physical wombs. And it was understood that because of this element, women were also very closely connected to the great cosmic womb and to the womb of Mother Earth, the womb of Gaia. And the fact that women are the ones who are able to create, birth, and nurture new life inside our bodies, which in itself is a miracle. And so many of us have kind of lost notion of that. And the fact that we are birthing babies, creating new life, doesn't perhaps hold the kind of magic and this understanding of its miraculous nature that it really should. Because imagine how miraculous it really is, that from a tiny seed, a new human being can be birthed. And this, of course, happens across all life on our planet, whether we're talking about mammals or reptiles or fish or whatever it is that we are talking about, but we are creating life within our womb spaces. And the ancient ones also knew and understood at a very, very deep level that our wombs are really cauldrons of wisdom and power and portals into multidimensional wisdom that we could use to access this kind of wisdom across time, across space, across dimensions. And they also understood inner alchemy, and they knew how to work with the energies within our bodies and beyond our bodies, and how to use our wombs for healing purposes, to really change our own energy, shift our frequency and vibration, and how to use this frequency and vibration to impact that which is around us. Menstrual blood itself was also recognized as sacred and incredibly powerful. It was understood that the blood itself carried healing ingredients and healing elements, which we have to a large extent forgotten about. And the menstrual cycle itself connected us very closely and very powerfully to the cycles of nature and to the cycles of the moon. And working consciously with these cycles can be hugely empowering. And in fact, in ancient societies, it was women that very often were the leaders, were the shamans, the wisdom keepers, the seers, and the warriors, in a very different way from how women are treated and recognized in terms of their roles and their responsibilities and their powers in the present time. And what that is all about, I call it the Dawn of Patriarchy. Over time, the fact that women were so powerful became something to be feared and something to be envied. And that has led to literally centuries of programming and very systematic oppression of women and our power. On one hand, we're talking about really the demonization of menstruation and menstrual blood into something that we should, if not be ashamed of, but at least something that needs to be hidden, and something that we shouldn't really talk about, and something that we should constantly consider as something that is a nuisance, and we need to fight against our body's natural ways and flows in relation to this. The medicalization of pregnancy and birth, the most natural of processes for women. And our bodies know exactly what to do when we fall pregnant. Our bodies know exactly what needs to be done when we are about to go into labor. And I am not saying that modern medicine is always bad. And of course, there are many, many cases where the monitoring of a pregnancy and the process of labor can be absolutely life-saving. But overall, we have kind of been led to believe that our bodies are not as powerful as they are, and our bodies don't know what needs to happen when we fall pregnant. We're also talking about the objectification of the most female parts, the most feminine parts of our bodies. So our breasts and our sexual organs. So here we're talking about things like pornography. Here we're talking about also violence against women. We're talking about the need to see our breasts and our sexual organs as something that are nothing but objects of desire for men. Unrealistic expectations around appearance. I mean, how much money do women spend on makeup, on cosmetic procedures and surgeries? How much money do we spend on exercise programs in the gym to try and shape our bodies to look a certain way, to fit a very narrow mold of what is beautiful and what is attractive? And how little do we actually appreciate and love our bodies exactly the way they are, no matter what shape, no matter what color, no matter what height. And also our brains, really the devaluing of feminine wisdom and our intelligence, shown already by the fact that all around the world, women still in 2022 get less money for the same job that they perform than men, with exactly the same experience and with exactly the same kind of roles and responsibilities. And our emotional intelligence has been devalued, ridiculed. We've been called way too emotional. We can't lead because we're so emotional. And really this undervaluing of our intuition and our connectedness to something deeper, something bigger than what we are. And hugely as well, the erasure of women's role in history. We can take any history book or pretty much any religious text, perhaps not counting a lot of the Indian religious texts, but Islam, Christianity, and so on. The role of women has been completely underwritten and undervalued in these books. And just to give you another example, look at the way in ancient Egypt, statues depicting female leaders, female warriors, pharaohs, they have had parts of their faces chopped off in an effort to completely erase their power and the remembrance of the role they played in society. And another example from the Bible, just think about how small of a role women play in those parts of the Bible that have up to recently been available to us as well. And before I even go to this slide, let's just all take a really deep breath, because I've shared a lot of information that might have really shaken you and affected you. So let's just all take a really deep breath, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth, allowing this energy and this information just to integrate. Beautiful. So what happens when we are not consciously working with and remembering the power of our wombs, when we are essentially disconnected from our wombs energetically and physically? We are disconnected from our inner knowing and our inner guidance. And this inner knowing and this inner guidance is always connected to the larger energies around us, that matrix of love, that knowing and that wisdom that comes from the Great Mother. We're disconnected from the frequency of the divine feminine, not really understanding and being able to value what is happening on our planet at the moment as the divine feminine is rising again, as we are being invited to open up to these energies. We're also disconnected from our healing potential and power, from the flow of creativity and creation, and the true power of manifestation, which really does lie inside our womb spaces. And what I really would like you to remember from this session, this class, is that we have been programmed, we have been taught to forget our power in a very systematic way. We've been programmed to doubt our worth, to doubt who we truly are. We've been programmed to think that loving ourselves is selfish, something that we shouldn't cultivate, and that we need to compete, compare, and criticize, especially as women. Have you noticed this in your life? This paradigm where women tend to push each other down rather than lift each other up. It's all part of patriarchy, patriarchal conditioning and programming, which we can change. So let's look at what happens when we start to reclaim our wombs and that connection to our womb spaces. I keep repeating this, but it is so very important. We start to connect with that ancient feminine knowing that lives deep inside all of us. Whether we remember it, whether we consciously already are aware of it, it is there inside of us. We can also more easily tap into support from our guides, from our ancestors, and the Great Mother. And I have to add here as well that to Mother Earth, and start receiving the nurturance and the guidance from Mother Earth in a different way as well. Importantly, harness the healing power inside our wombs Learn to love ourselves exactly as we are. And this is one of the most liberating things that we can do, as women especially. And really start to vibrate with the frequency of abundance. And through this, start to bring in more joy, more laughter, more happiness, more friends, more community, more health and wealth into our lives. And the more abundance we have in our lives, the more we can give to others as well. And as I mentioned earlier, really use our wombs to manifest the world we're dreaming of for ourselves as individuals, as families, as communities, and as a collective. And super, super importantly, learn to balance the feminine and masculine energies within ourselves so that we're able to experience more flow and harmony overall in our lives. And now I would love to take you on a journey, on a meditative journey into your womb space and really start to work with those alchemical energies inside your womb. And for this one, I would love for you just to take a few really, really deep breaths, just like Sarah did in the beginning. And if it feels safe for you to do so, close your eyes and allow your breath to bring you inwards into a place of relaxation, into the sacred container. And into your beautiful, magical body temple. And I'd like you to give yourself permission to take the deepest breath you've taken all day today. And to release it with a big, big sigh. Now bring your awareness to your womb space, this beautiful, velvety cauldron of wisdom and power deep inside you. If it feels good, you're welcome to place your hands over your womb space and greet your womb. Say hello to her, smile at her, and just spend a little moment connecting to this powerful cauldron inside you. Beautiful. And then with your mind's eye, see yourself standing inside your womb space, in this velvety darkness, in this warmth, this safety of your own womb. And as you stand there inside this safe darkness, you notice that the walls of your womb are lit by gentle crystal lamps that emit this beautiful glow inside your womb. And inside this glow, you notice that in the center of your womb space is a spiraling staircase that leads downwards. And you step over to this staircase. You take the first step onto the staircase and you start to descend. You start to take one step after the other, going further and further down, spiraling further and further down, deeper and deeper into your womb space. Keep walking downwards, further and further down, deeper and deeper into your womb space. You keep walking further down, descending deeper and deeper into the mysteries and the magic of your womb. You take a few more steps and you come to a landing. And on that landing is a doorway. You step over to this doorway. Lift your hand over to the handle or the knob of the door and open the door. You step through the door into the most beautiful, luscious, gorgeous garden. And you look around you. What do you see in this garden? What do you notice? What do you hear? What do you smell in this beautiful garden? You start to walk around a little bit, exploring this garden, taking in its energy, taking in its vibration. Keep breathing deeply in and out and allow this frequency and this vibration from the garden nurture and nourish you. And you now come to a little stream that runs across your garden. You sit down by the stream and reach over to the water, this beautiful, sparkly, flowing water, and you drink from the stream. You can feel the cool waters inside your body, nourishing and nurturing you. And as you sit there by the stream, you are met by this beautiful mother deer that joins you and sits by your side. And this mother deer has very special healing powers. And she asks you to whisper to her your sorrows, your fears, and your worries. You may wish to even touch the deer and share with her that which worries you, that which scares you, that which makes you uneasy and uncomfortable. The deer will not be hurt by anything that you share with her. She will take it in and transmute it into something beautiful and empowering. Release that which no longer serves to this mother deer. Let go of that which no longer serves. Yes, just let it all flow out of you. You no longer need it. It no longer serves you. Beautiful. And once you've shared that which you are ready to share and release in this moment, you can thank the Mother Dear, offer her your gratitude, and drink once again from this flowing stream. And again, feel the nourishment, the healing nurturers from this water flow into your body, revitalizing you, re-energizing you, helping you to feel so alive and so connected, so aligned. And now start making your way back towards that door through which you came into this garden, taking in the beauty of your garden, listening to the sounds again, taking in the aromas, the scents. Notice how light and energized you feel. And as you come to the door, you lift your hand over to the handle or the knob on the door, open the door, and step back into the darkness, beautiful velvety darkness of your womb space. And now you start to ascend the spiral staircase, taking one step at a time, moving up, up, rising higher, one step at a time, spiraling upwards along the staircase. Keep breathing, moving upwards, up, up, ascending higher and higher, further and further up along this staircase, one step at a time. Keep walking one step at a time, ascending the spiral staircase until you come back to that point where you started inside your womb space. Take a few deep breaths here, sending gratitude to your womb and holding yourself in the deepest love possible. Beautiful. And then very slowly, there's absolutely no rush. You can start to bring your awareness to the rest of your body, to the room that you are in, taking in the sounds that surround you, perhaps wiggling your fingers and your toes a little bit. And when you are ready, and again, there's absolutely no rush, but when you are ready, you are welcome to open your eyes. Welcome back. I hope that was a beautiful journey of release for you. And Sarah, would you please let me know what you're seeing on the screen at the moment? Because my screen has done something really funny here, and I'm not sure you're still seeing my slide. You are seeing my slide. Okay, beautiful, perfect. All right. Let me just take a moment to see if I can back to the screen that I was seeing as well. I'll stop the share for a moment and then restart. My laptop sometimes does very funny things with sharing. So, so I'll give you just a couple of moments to land where we are into our sacred container again. And this is just one of the ways in which you can journey into your womb space, access other realities, access healing realms, and really alchemize your womb and your body so that you can bring more healing to yourself and to others around you as well. If you would like to find out more about the work that I do, you are welcome to visit my website, femininerevered.com. And through this website, you are also welcome to download my free ebook, which is called Healing the 5 Core Feminine Wounds. And this ebook is all about the mother wound, the sister wound, the body wound, the menstruation wound, and the body wound, which are wounds that all of us women carry by virtue of having been born into this lifetime as women. And it gives you more of an idea what these wounds are all about, how they can impact you, and how they tend to manifest in our lives as women. And if you are intrigued about how you could potentially work with me, then you are also welcome through my website to schedule a complimentary sacred energy activation, during which we will connect with the energy of the Great Mother, of the Divine Feminine, and really open ourselves up to this frequency of love. And very often there's also a transmission that comes through specifically for you during this session. And in the session, I will also share more about how you could work with me if that feels aligned, and how I could potentially support you on your journey, either one-on-one or through one of the group programs that I also hold. So I think I am going to stop there. And Sarah, if you have any questions or anything to share, you are welcome to.
Well, first off, thank you so much for that beautiful, deep space that you've guided us in. Yeah, I think it's really beautiful how you just have such a clear view on the effect of these 2,000 years of patriarchy in us, and then you can weave everything together and hold space for that pain, and then also with the side on transforming that into. So again, that was really what I received from you, and I think it's really beautiful. Questions? Not really. Nothing is. I think it's so much still to kind of digest. But I'm sure that if anyone at home has some questions, they can always reach out to you personally, and I know you'll be open to answering them, and they don't need to be shy. They can really contact you. So
Absolutely. Yeah, they can contact me through my website or simply just emailing me at emmy@femininerevered.com. And I usually respond within 48 hours to all the emails that come to me.
Yeah, and then for the free ebook that you've just talked about, there's also a link direct to that ebook below the replay video. Same for your website. So you can just also, if you're watching on the replay page, you can directly click on that link.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sarah.
And thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for creating this beautiful container, Sarah. It's really been such an honor to be a part of it. And thank you for the magic that you are weaving on Mama Earth.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah. That's the beauty of when you tap into your womb and you let your soul speak, these things come out. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. Okay.
We are the flow, we are the ebb, we are the weavers.